In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 things that I wish I knew before getting started on NoFap. If I knew these things, life would have been saved from a lot of struggle, from a lot of frustration, but they say that life also unfolds exactly how it is supposed to. So maybe I learned these lessons exactly when I was supposed to, but by watching this video, you will be able to avoid the same cycle of frustration and struggle that I went through myself. Okay, now the first thing that I wish I knew before getting started on NoFap is that NoFap is not a lifestyle. Okay, the primary purpose of NoFap is to reverse the negative side effects that pornography addiction has had on your brain, to rewire your brain to begin favoring social contact with people, to begin favoring forming a deep, genuine connection with someone instead of the current wiring which has gone ahead and favored the pornography to spike up the dopamine in your brain and using that as the reward. Okay, so the primary purpose is to reverse those effects, and once the effects are reversed, we can move on to the next stage, right? The Buddha had a great saying about this. Can't believe I'm using the Buddha as an example of a NoFap, but he said that his teachings are like a boat, and once you use the boat to get across the river, it's not like you're going to start carrying the boat on your head once you're across the river. All right, it's done its purpose, it's served what its duty, and now that you're on the other side, it's no need to carry that boat along with you. It will only slow you down. In the same way, once NoFap has served the primary purpose of reversing the negative side effects that it has on your brain, that it has on your willpower, on your decisiveness, on your assertiveness, on your ability to show up as a man, once those negative side effects are reversed, which usually happens on the 30 to 90 day mark depending on how addicted you've been to pornography, then there is no longer a need for you to continue doing NoFap. Okay, now why am I saying that this is not a lifestyle? Because if you continue past a certain point, it can lead to some serious sexual frustration. That is what I experienced. I link out to another video somewhere over here. But when you go past a certain point, for example, the last day that I tracked it was day 186. I remember that I was showing up as a person that was not living in alignment with my values. All right, now one of my highest values is to treat other people kindly, with compassion, to smile at other people. But when I was going through the cycle of NoFap, of tracking my streaks, of thinking that I'm some kind of alpha male because I don't watch pornography and don't bust a nut, but the reality is that all of that sexual energy is actually not being transmuted. It's not being transformed and used productively, and then that shows up as rage, as anger, as frustration, and then that frustration gets expressed to other people in our lives, and that is something that was going against what I deem valuable in my life, right? The primary purpose of sexual energy, as I've talked about in previous videos, is to express our creativity. And once we are going ahead and transmuting that sexual energy, then we can go ahead and use it for productive purposes rather than store it and get frustrated because it is not being used. Okay, now the third thing that I wish I knew before starting NoFap is that NoFap is not the same thing as semen retention. Now this is why I'm saying that NoFap can lead to sexual frustration, and semen retention is actually the next level. A lot of guys think that semen retention and NoFap is the same thing, but the reality is that semen retention is a practice from ancient Taoism, from tantric practices, whereby we are not doing PMO. Okay, PMO in NoFap is like no porn, no masturbation, no orgasm. But semen retention has strategies, has tactics that we can go ahead and experience orgasm, whether that's through solo cultivation, aka masturbation, which in Taoism they refer to as expressing self-love to yourself. All right, so it all depends on where you are coming from at this. When you're busting a nut and rubbing one out based on this feeling of frustration, of anxiety, of letting go of all of these negative emotions, of distracting yourself, then of course that is not a healthy practice based on your own mental health, your physical health, based on how you feel about yourself when you're using it as an escape. But when you can use it as an expression of love towards yourself and not ejaculate, right? Primary thing about semen retention is that you preserve your ejaculation, you preserve your life force. But there is a separation between orgasm and ejaculation, and when we can learn to differentiate between these two things, then we can learn to form a deep, passionate, loving relationship with someone without depriving ourselves of our life force. Okay? So semen retention means that you can go ahead and masturbate, you can experience orgasms, but you are not watching pornography, which is definitely damaging your brain. Okay? And the fourth thing that I wish I knew about NoFap when I got started is that NoFap is a band-aid. It is a coping mechanism for a root cause that is running very, very deep. I've made another video about this as well, but the gist of it is that when we distract ourselves, whether it's through porn, whether it's through alcohol, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through chasing girls, whether it's through binge watching TV, any destructive habit is actually a coping mechanism for us to fill a void of meaning and purpose in our lives. If you are addicted to pornography right now, or if you are exhibiting any damaging habits and destructive habits that you know you need to stop, that you know are damaging your well-being, that are damaging your self-esteem and damaging the way that you feel about yourself, but you're still continuing to go through them, then that behavior is actually a coping mechanism for you to fill a void of meaning, of purpose in your life. So the primary purpose is to get clear on why you are even here in the first place. What gifts do you intend on nurturing in greatest service to the world? What are you here to give? Because like I've said in previous videos, life is a gift, and until you know what gift you want to give back to it, you will continue to distract yourself from these destructive habits, right? So NoFap is a band-aid. Yes, you can stop watching pornography, you can stop masturbating, you can stop orgasming, you can track your days every single day and use that as something to boost your own self-esteem. But if you're not addressing this root cause which is why you are here, your purpose, your meaning in life, then you will continue to use something as a distraction, whether it's watching pornography or whether it's tracking your NoFap days. You have to get to the root of your purpose here in life. Why are you here? What is the meaning that you seek to create in your life? And what is it that you and only you can do in greatest service to the world? Okay? So at the end of the day, it comes down to that. Once we're clear on our path and purpose in life, then we can enter a state of euthymia, as the great philosopher of Stoicism, Seneca, said. All right, euthymia is when you are clear on your path. You have the confidence to walk your path. You're not distracted by the myriad of paths that are being walked by others, because you are certain that you are on your primary life's purpose. Okay, that is what we're here for. And if you want to learn more about me and stuff that I'm working on with guys one-on-one, then definitely check out the Awaken Your Alpha program. Click it below. If that's something that you resonate with, then you would have an opportunity to get on a one-on-one call with me. We talk for 5 minutes and discuss whether this is the best fit for you moving forward into 2020. With all that being said, if you like this video, click a bunch of buttons below so that more videos can show up from me on your home page. And if you don't like it, definitely click the dislike button so that you never have to see me again. You can say goodbye. It's all right. You break my heart, but it's all good. So this has been Saleem. I'll see you in the next video.